All right, hello everyone. This is Josh, also known as Yashu. You just tuned into another episode of the TLOY Talks podcast. You can get this on all platforms, as mentioned below, to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Patreon, much more. And we're just gonna get it started right here. So we have one of the rising artists in the Toronto underground music scene. Has released like a lot of projects throughout the way too, stemming from like 2022 to like now and all that. Is set to open up for Wi-Fi's funeral on October 11th and has done like a lot of performances, shows, and much more too. And like he's also set to perform on September 26th on Friday. So we have Spider in the building. How are you doing today, man?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, likewise, man. Like I've checked out the music so far, and it's a pretty interesting style in a way too. Like
Mhm.
kind of has a lot of like creative like notes and styles to it too, and like we'll like definitely like dive in like deep for a bit too. So but I want to like kind of like get it started right here. So like, where'd you grow up, and like what was like the environment like for you growing up?
Um, so I'm Dominican for the people that don't know. I'm Latino. I'm like black Latino,
Okay.
I am quarter Egyptian and what else? And I grew up in a very, you could say, poor environment at the beginning. Very poor, very just a lot of gang violence, a lot of, what usually a black kid grows up like, you know. And then when I was 12, I moved to here to Canada, and then it was a little better for a while, and then it got a little, then I had to move with my family to Driftwood, and that's kind of where I started taking the music more seriously. I grew up with Pressa, YG, Boondog, all the guys around. They're always like coming to the hood, giving us money as kids and shit. And I just kind of, that's kind of when I saw the music scene. But yeah, that was growing up with a lot of violence, a lot of, you know, I just decided to take a different path and, take music and all that anger from violence and all that. I just decided to take it into music.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah. So when did you move to Toronto?
I moved to Toronto, 2017, September 30. I would say 8 years ago, since the first day I moved to Canada, I've been in Toronto.
Okay, yeah, I know what you mean, man.
Hmm.
Like in DR too, because I know DR is like very big with like baseball,
Yes.
music, much more too. There's like a lot of like
Yeah.
notable stars too. So was it like a big place for music at the time growing up?
Um, yes. We're very, like, music is one of our main things. Bachata, dembow, you know, all them yarns. The main one we made was bachata, so I grew up listening to that. Um, And yeah, I grew up with a lot of music everywhere you go. I used to do performances when I was younger. Like I used to like dance in front of the other kids in school. And so music, yeah, was a big part of my life pretty much all the time.
Okay, and I guess like from for you and all that, like what were you like from like the start until now?
Back then I was you could say I was a weird kid growing up, very weird. Got treated very indifferently because, people didn't understand that I was different. And that pushed me into, not being as popular, not being as popular with girls, or just in general in school. And that pushed me on like more to like a very alone place. So I had a lot of time to like work on myself. That's why, I started drawing, writing poetry. Then from poetry, in school, there were like rap battles. And I joined one of them, and then I noticed that I could rap because the poetry took me there. So then I started rapping, since I was like around 9, 10, and then I
Okay,
took it
and
further.
like in the process and like making music, like at what time do you start like kind of like making like music and like rapping like as like an artist like officially and all that?
So officially, I started rapping as an artist, like posting music, just starting my career. You could say like about a year ago. I took this shit seriously. Before that, it was pretty much me trying, what to do. I always exempt in school, so I was gonna, do a very long career, like 8 year career, and I had even a scholarship ready and everything, and I dropped out of school because I thought that, the music passion had taken like a most part of my life, and I couldn't do anything else but music. So, yeah,
Okay. Like to kind of get more into like the whole like Toronto stuff too, because like moving from DR to Toronto,
yeah,
like was there like a lot of like it's like kind of like a culture shock, like in a way to like moving to another country where it's
yeah,
like very different from like the norms, traditions, as opposed to kind of like back home and all that.
yeah, yeah. So it did. It was like a new world for me. Like moving from a third world country to a first world country is very different. We don't have potable water. We don't have like our for us to trash throw away the trash. We have to travel very far to get potable water. We have to carry it to our homes in big bottles, and it's yeah, life is not easy. So when I came here, seeing trains, I never gotten in a train. I never would have went to the cinema, watching a movie in the cinema, things like that were totally new for me. So when I got here, I was very impressed by the country. But soon the violence, especially in Toronto, it's actually crazy, especially in places like Yane and Finch. You know, um, what is that place called? Park something
Yeah,
downtown.
this Parkdale. I know there's like Rexdale. There's
Yeah, those
Mount Olive.
places.
Yeah, yeah.
I grew up hanging out with those guys. So for me, that took away the beauty that I seen in the country, all the opportunities and shit. And then when I found myself going a different path, um, yeah, that's
Okay.
that was my experience.
Okay, man. As far as like your musical background and history, did you had like any family that kind of made music and all that?
No, I don't have any. Okay, I have an uncle that plays the guitar. That's about it. He doesn't make music. And I don't have any person related to me that makes music.
Okay. And like, what inspired you to even like become like a rapper and artist and like take it seriously?
I would say this is very ironic because I'm opening for Wi-Fi's funeral, and XXXTENTACION, and all them guys I hang out with were the main inspiration behind my music. You could say everything that I do. Yes, I did wanted to make music before that. I just found it it was fun and everything. But then when I met X, and after X died, it completely changed my life. It's a very long story, but he's he's baby mom's
Oh,
Genesis. She's Dominican as well, and we are actually long term related in a way. I saw her in a family gathering back in DR, and I saw Gekim there, and I was like, "What the hell?" And I think I'm related to this girl, and just how small the world is, how everything, all the signs just show me that this was something that I needed to take very seriously.
okay.
And yeah, but X mainly was X, Kanye, Tyler the Creator, Eminem, Fuck, Logic,
Yeah.
a lot of rappers that like Dre, Snoop Dogg. I listened to all them guys when I was young, growing up. So yeah,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, how was it like, having a cousin like that, like Genesis, and like even like meeting like XXX, like Tentacion, like for the most part?
I didn't really meet X. I didn't get to talk to him. He had a show here, and I just happened to be backstage with a bunch of people, and I just seen him from afar, but I never got to fully talk to him. But his presence was enough to impact my life,
Okay.
yeah, in a different way.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Mhm.
And as far as like your creative process, like when making music, like what's that like, and what would like a day like in the studio be like for you?
So I used to hit the studio on my own, go to the studio, pay for hourly, but then I decided to actually install a studio at home. And for me, making a song could go anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes to an hour to 2 hours. But creatively speaking, um, I don't write at all. I used to write. I don't write at all. I just play the beat. I just mumble whatever, and I usually mumble first, get the sounds first, then I go back into the sound and I add words to the sound. Then I just write it. I just record it, and that's usually how it goes when I do music.
Okay. And like, are you like usually like in the element for the most part too? Like, I don't know if you like drink or smoke like when you record and all that, or like do you do everything sober?
So I used to smoke every now and then when I was making music, and it does make the music very different. I would say, but usually no, I don't have no alcohol, no substances. I just go in there, and yeah, you could say depending how often I'm doing music. If I'm doing music for 3 weeks in a row, 4 weeks in a row, then for the most part I'm in my element. But if I haven't made music in a month or so, then it takes me a little bit to get back to, and I'm still tapping into my own potential, you could say. So it's still I'm still working with presets. I'm still learning. I only been producing my own music, mixing it for about 6, 7 months. I'm still tapping into, you
Okay.
know, flowing better and more confidently.
Okay, I know what you mean, man. And like your stage name, Spider, like it
Hmm.
is like very interesting too because you have like the one for the I and then free for the E and all that too. So how did you manage to get that name? And I don't know if that's like more like a homage to like Young Thug because I know like he has like the whole like Spider stuff and all that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So actually, when I got the name, I didn't even know Young Thug existed at all. But eventually, as I started listening to his music, I was like, "Yo, hell yeah, bro! I fuck with this dude heavy. Like he has influenced my music like a lot as well." But yeah, I have the 1 and the 3 mainly for 13. I have it tatted here. Um, so 13 was a number that I've seen a lot in my life, and usually it's supposed to be like a bad omen, it's supposed to be something bad, you know? And my life had a lot of misfortune and I turned it around. So 13 for me is like a number that, bro, it don't even matter if this is supposed to be like an unlucky number or misfortune. You can turn your life around no matter what. So I had to have it in my name. And Spider is very, very funny because I used to be like scared of spiders and shit and tarantulas and shit. I had arachnophobia, not gonna lie. And one day, back in the yard, we have like a lot of spiders, like all the time. Tarantula came in my house, and I just didn't want to be a bitch anymore. I didn't want to like have to run from something like that as a man. So I grabbed the spider and I let it crawl around my body for around 2 hours, and I beat that fear. And then since then, I was like, you know what? That's something that impacted my life. So I just wanted, it's like whatever you fear in your life, if you spend enough time around it and you accept the pain instead of running from it, you'll find yourself like beating it and actually, becoming part of it. And, that's like my whole life is about evolution. So, yeah, that's kind of what that name means.
Yeah, for sure, man. And speak more like on your recent project too, because I think that just dropped like earlier like this year and all that too. So
Hmm.
like tell me like more about that project like in a way.
XE.
Yeah, yeah.
So XC was just a project, me testing the waters of what I could really do, trying to show people that, I'm just playing around, I'm just tapping into my potential. And that was my first mix project. So there's a lot of mixing errors in it, a lot of mastering problems, like I understand. I got people like Kato's High there, I got people like Bandanna saying, I got people like a bunch of artists that, wanted to be part of the project. And the project overall, XC means like constant evolution of one's true self. That's the definition of the album. And the reason why I decided to make this album is because I want people to know what I do when I'm playing around. I want people to know what I do when I'm actually serious. So I'm actually done with my project. My next project is called Dark Web, and I'm gonna be announcing it very soon. Probably after this, I don't know when this interview is gonna drop, but probably by then it's gonna be already announced. And that album is literally, showing the peak of what I can do, like the peak of what I can do. Um, so I want people to be able to compare two albums and be like, yo, this is crazy evolution between, somebody like working so hard on themselves. So I had another previous project, Prince of Chaos, but that project was like when I started making this, when I started doing it, I don't even count that as like a main, like properly worked on project. So XC was, I had to put an album out that people could compare to Dark Web, and quality wise, mastering wise, lyrical, everything like it's just on a whole different level. There's no skips for me at least in that album. Um, in XC, I still do some skips. Like I'm listening to it and I still skip some songs because I don't like them. But not on Dark Web. So that's why I work in that project and released it
Okay.
mainly.
Yeah. No, that's pretty like interesting to hear, man. And like how do you feel about the state of like the Toronto underground scene like right now? Because like I know you're kind of like a pivotal part like in that scene right now, so
Yeah. To be honest, this scene to me looks like there's a lot of separation and be. I would say this is a like multiracial country, but it's one of the countries where the multiracials are used the most against like dividing us, you could say. Especially I would say between black people. Like black people don't support black people as much. Um, I just gotta say that um the underground scene in Toronto is like there's a bunch of shit in a bucket, and when some of the shit gets out of the bucket, then the other shit just pulls that shit down again.
Yeah.
And I just feel like there's so many people that are trying to open close doors for me, that are trying to ego me or do whatever. Bro, I'm chill as fuck. I'm a person that I'm very humble. I never say no to somebody, no matter if I think I got clout or not. I just treat everybody the same because you never know who's gonna be who, right? But it's not the same. There's a lot of people that don't give you the opportunities. And keep in mind, someone like me that I've built up heavy portfolio, it should be harder for me to have a decline on opportunities. But still, people do it just because people want to see you doing good but no better than them. And that's when I draw the line with things. And I would say if I would have been in the US, I would have blown up. But regardless of how the scene is in Toronto, I'm working on it, trying to make it better. This is my beginnings, end of the day.
Yeah.
And I love my city. And even though if my city don't support me at some point, I'm gonna still be taking the name as far as I possibly can of Toronto City.
Yeah. Sure.
So yeah.
Yeah, because I know usually in a lot of scenes, especially in the underground, I know it is kind of clicky too, and there are certain promotion teams that kind of do blackball artists too, and I've had artists before that kind of explain the situation
Mhm.
where it kind of gets finicky for the most part too, with money, all that type of stuff too, and
Yeah.
I know there's I think one situation, I don't know if you want to speak more about that, but there was a show that was supposed to happen around May or June with the guy that you're supposed to work, the guy that you actually worked with. So tell me more about that situation and how that stemmed about and all that.
So I still hear rumors about that show, the Bandanna Saint show. I was headlining for it, me and him. We were actually bros. We were no bros. We were on the business level bros, you could say. Not personally, we were not bros, but we were cool. We talked about, we had already songs, a lot of songs made, and I was we were talking about future projects, doing a whole album, all, just me and him. Then the show came and the day came, and 2 weeks or a week and a half before the show, bro cancels the show. He had a reputation for scamming. I don't want to say it, but a lot of people I would say the biggest people in the industry right now in the underground scene of Toronto have told me this guy have scam. And I don't want to give out names, but it's the main guys running the main shows in Toronto right now that told me that shit. I was like, all right, bro did scam me for a story because I paid him. We had a deal. The story and the repost on SoundCloud for this amount of money. I sent him the money. Bro only reposted on SoundCloud. He didn't post me on the story. I asked him many times. It didn't happen. But when it comes to the feature wise, when I paid him for the feature, he did deliver the feature. He didn't scam me with the features. He did take longer than he said he would, way longer, but he delivered the feature. And then after that, he mixed the show, and I'm getting hundreds of DMs, bro. I'm getting, my DMs are flooded with people saying, yo, what happened? Why is Bandanna not pulling up to the show, this and that? So 416, the guy organizing the show, hits me up. He's like, yo, Bandanna is canceled. I'm like, yo, can we do it without him? I literally sold more tickets than him. Entire Evil 13, me, Tay, Lova, all these artists, Underground Bougie, shout out Underground Bougie, bro. That guy, all of us, we sold so many tickets. That shit was gonna be a sold out show for sure. And then Bandanna didn't pull up to a show that, I don't want to shame anybody for not selling tickets or whatever. It don't really matter. But that was the show that I most sold. I sold the most tickets. And I just think that we could have run the show regardless, But First 16 said, no, I paid this guy so much money for this and that. I need the money back. So post on your story saying that, he's scamming people. Actually, he didn't tell me that Bandanna Saint owed him money. He just told me that Bandanna Saint was kind of scamming him or something like that. So he asked all of us to post about it. So we posted about it. I post about it, and I'm like, bro, you're not allowed in the six anymore. We're doing this fucking shit. How can you scam? Blah, 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 blah. So I think he was out, and he got back home. He sees the fucking story. He replies like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? This and that, this and that. What's going on? I'm like, bro, I'm getting hundreds of DMs that you are scamming my fans and shit. And I don't play about my fans. Bro said, oh, and I don't play about real life. You already work with me. We already have business. You can't just post a story like that. I was like, bro, 416 told me to do that. And if it's wrong, if it's actually not right, my bad. But I'm doing what's best for my fans. Regardless, like I don't want my fans to get scammed, right? Um, the situation gets sorted out. 416, I think he, kept posting and posting until Bandanna said he was gonna pay him. Um, and Bandanna saying still like took a long time to pay him. Like looked like he spent the money right away. Um, and he did tell Bandanna saying did tell 416 to do the show 2 weeks later, but we had already booked the spot for that day, so he couldn't move it. It has to be, otherwise he would have lost money for 16. So 416 Entertainment called me and we talked about this whole situation, and I was like, you know what? Like, whatever. Bandana Saint said, this and that. Like, you're still not apologizing. So if you're not gonna apologize, I want to block you. And then he blocked me and shit. And then we left it at that. Like, I don't talk with the bro. I don't do anything around him. Um, but we know that these artists from US being scamming and shit, being doing like whatever they want. And it's because the people from the underground in Toronto give them so much fucking power. Uh, I was in a show for Yerms and K-Knives, and apparently they had beef with one of the performers, which wasn't me, and Quarter just kicked all of us out. And I went to the show. I had more elite shows. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Yeah.
shout out K9, shout out Yours,
Yeah.
but in my opinion, kicking a local artist for a US artist is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But he wanted to perform with his friends, so I respect that. I pull up to the show for love and shit. But the whole situation went down like that, and me and Bandanna saying don't work no more. We don't talk no more. Even because he was friends with Kato Side, we were making a song. Me and Kato Side and Bandanna. Apparently, me and Kato Side don't fuck with each other anymore because of I don't fuck with Bandanna. So that happened and whatever. And there's still rumors going around that I scam my fans for tickets, which is just a rumor that apparently he started. I'm not sure, but I hadn't seen one single dollar for that show. Any person that saw any money was Bandanna and 416 Entertainment. Nobody else that was in lineup saw one single dollar of any of the tickets sale. And all the tickets sale that I got were refunded to every single person. I haven't had one person text me about I need my refund. Nobody texted me for that. And I had a group chat. I really have a group chat with like 70, 80 people on it for the show. I started getting fans and putting them in the fucking group chat for the shows to meet up to do a whole documentary, a whole recap of the fucking show before it happened, and you know, they fucked that up. But yeah, that's everything that happened. I know, like now, finally, the truth gets out. You know, all I wanted for my fans is to have a lead ass fucking show. I was cool with Bandanna. And things went sideways, whatever it happens. So I'm not even gonna.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Yeah, like I know, like with that stuff, like I know it's like crazy too, and like honestly, like fuck them as well too. Like either way, I know like there's like a lot of stuff like even like going on in the scene too, where like there were like shows where they had to like cancel early because of, like fights and all that too. I think that was like a fuck the number show. Like I don't want to like give any other details, but I heard like there was like some fight that happened like a year or two back.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know who it was. What's it with Obreezy? With Obreezy and FTO, I'm not sure. Obreezy, HR Obreezy though. Like I know, like he got beef with for the numbers. I ain't got nothing to do with any of that, but
yeah.
that's my bro right there.
Yeah, like I know, like it could be like crazy like that too. So like it's been happening from time, like from the music stuff too. But it's Toronto, either way. But as far as like your growth from like the music that you make now versus before, do you feel like you've grown like as an artist for the better?
Ooh, yeah. So I initially make music in Spanish, of course. So it's hard because when I got into the English industry side of music, I became like a baby again. Like where I excel when I'm a fucking MC is in Spanish. I can freestyle at any fucking point in time in Spanish with no problem. In English, it's not my first language, so it's a little harder. Um, so yeah, I have grown a lot, and compared to my Spanish side of things, I think I'm still not there yet where I am like in Spanish, but like maybe like another year, and I think I'll be at my prime when it comes to like music.
Yeah, for sure, man. like as far as like mental health goes, because I know like with a lot of artists they deal with like a lot of like mental health like in life and like for the most part too.
Hmm.
Like how do you like deal with your mental health as a person in your position? Do you feel like at times it could be like overwhelming with a lot of stuff going on?
Um, Overwhelming. I would say. I mean, music is very overwhelming. You have to step in a stage with like hundreds of people just expecting you to like entertain them, you know. Um, and there's always like a certain expectation set, like So yes, it can affect your mental, but I'm a person that is like I've been close to dying so many fucking times, not just like related to violence, but related to like just in general in life. So it's like my thoughts when I'm nervous or whatever is like, bro, like what happened if I die tomorrow? Is it like does any of this really fucking matters? Like does it really matter what anybody thinks or anything? So like I would say my mental health is always on point. Like always on point when it comes to music. Things get to my head a little bit, like when you like there's problems you can't solve. There's like stories like um not told like properly and you just have to like but part of immature is knowing that you're not gonna be a good guy in every person's story. You're gonna be like a villain in some people's stories, and it's like, bro, whatever. Like time is gonna show you guys. So I don't really care. I just let time prove it, like prove my worth in the long run. And I'm always on. I have zero noise when it comes to work. If you read book, I don't know if you read books, but there's a book that talks about the noise. You know, I've seen like many entrepreneurs talk about it, but for me, when it comes to music, everything else is like an obstacle, you could say. And I'm only focused about like I'm on my league on my own because I'm only working on myself. I'm not competing with anybody else. So it's very hard for me to like go astray from that path and like actually like get things bother me for a long time. I'm always I always move on like forward with things. And it has to do with the passion and the focus that I have. Like I'm so focused and I have like such a hard drive that I don't let things get in the way. Even the Bandanna situation, unfortunately, it happened. But what can I do? Am I gonna sit there around and cry? No, bro. Like I have to. There's people that already like look up to me.
Yeah.
I have to like keep pushing this shit. Not just because of me, but the lives that I can change doing this music shit, the people that I can help by doing this music shit. Um of course, like right now I talk about like hoes and drugs and shit, but I do want to like show a more vulnerable side of me
Yeah.
for the youth. The youth is fucking broken, like fucking broken. My job is to guide them, to protect them, because I know what it is, like you know, and they need a strong leader. They need somebody who they can look up to, and I'm that person. I believe that I'm that person for a lot of people. So there's they will always come to my mind when I have any mental problem, and I'm just gonna push right through that fucking shit.
Yeah. Let's keep going into like move like 10 steps ahead. Like, like that's actually like a
Yeah.
very great idea, like in a way too. And like, I mean, it led to even like more bigger blessings, like with the Wi-Fi funeral show and
Hmm.
like even with the show coming up like in the next couple of days too. So it's amazing to see.
Hmm. Thank you.
Yeah, man. As far as like songs and all that too, like usually I have a playlist where I kind of like update for the audience and all that too
Hmm.
for SoundCloud and Spotify. So like name 3 songs in your catalog that you like to recommend for any person out there that hasn't heard about you before that would like to know more from you that we could add to like the playlist for our Spotify and
Mm.
SoundCloud playlist.
So I would say, uh, if you're looking for a lyrical side of me, go for Menace from Prince of Chaos, um, or Made of Star, like one of my very beginnings. If you're looking for like hype, go for Call Me Scott, or Pussy Boy, or go for let me see what other song I got. Or So What. And if you're looking for something more calm, or like on the like sentimental side of things, like emotional side of things, go for Lot Webs, go for like Love the Pain or my album XC, or even go for XC. XC is a very turn song. I would say though, by the time this interview came out, wait until my album Dark Web comes out and add those things. I'm making a whole new profile for that, so the algorithm blesses me. Just make sure to fuck with that album.
Yeah, man.
the album has everything you need for sure.
Yeah.
And that's all I gotta say.
That's facts, man. We'll definitely look forward to the project too. Like I think should be a very dope like one either way too, and like hopefully there's gonna be like a lot of growth as well too. And like even aside from that project and all the other shows, like what do you have like coming up next? And do you have any closing remarks you'd like to say?
Yeah, I'm dropping. I'm reopening my Tarantulas Club website for my clothing brand. I'm opening Able 13 clothing line and like accessories and stuff. I'm gonna start hosting my own shows, meaning I'm gonna still work with people like Fuck the Numbers and stuff because they make everything very organized. But I'm gonna still make my own. Like I'm gonna rent my own venue and like do my own show my own way. And I'm gonna get like a lot of artists that don't get the chance to shine. I'm gonna give it to them and shit. And that's one of the projects coming up. I believe I'm gonna headline for a show on October 31st for Fuck the Numbers as well. And I'm gonna be in a tour of somebody very big next year. I can't say who for now, but I'm just gonna let it out there so people don't say like I didn't give clues and shit. Um, and when it comes to projects wise, I have another album called Black the Impaler, and I have another album called All Seeing. So those are my best projects that I've been working on, and I just look forward to releasing. And I have it already. It's just exciting. It's exciting. It's my hands are itching to drop it, but you have to hold it. I have to hold it and plan it properly and do a proper rollout. Otherwise, all the money for the production and everything goes to waste.
Yeah.
So be patient.
Yeah, man. Spider, it's like definitely dope like having you on, man. Like just like communicating with you, getting to know more about you, like getting to know more about your story. And I definitely wish like nothing but the best for you and your career like moving
Thank you,
forward.
bro.
And like I see it with like the chains, the grills, like the
Yeah.
dreads and all that too. Like, you're shining either way, and it's amazing to see,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
I would say, shout out to you, bro. You're doing something great. You're giving a spotlight to every single person, regardless of the race or,
Like background for the most part, too,
background. Yeah,
like,
for the
just-
most part, yeah, or even their numbers and stuff in a way. And I just hope that you find like very like, promising young talent in the city because there is. It's just that, usually the people that are going up are doing their best to cover up those other artists that are going out or to stomp on them, to not give them that. And then some people never get the shine. Like, shout out to Colombia. I seen it. He came here.
Valentino, yeah.
That guy's dope. Hopefully I can work with him at some point. I'll DM or something. But yeah, thank you for having me so much. Yeah,
Likewise, man. Nothing but the best. All right, this is Josh, also known as Yashu, another episode of the TLOY Talks podcast. You can get this on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Buzzsprout, Patreon, much more. Definitely check out Spider's music on all platforms: SoundCloud, Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you get your music and all that too. Definitely check out this episode / interview like when it's like released too, and yeah, like stay tuned for more content as well too. So this is Josh, also known as Yashu, with Spider, signing off.